Emily here from Emily Reads, and today I have for you my June book haul. So it is a massive book haul. I hauled 28 books, 38 books. I don't remember. It's so massive. So what happened? Why is it so massive? Well, one, I did order 2 books from Book of the Month. Um, I found a couple of books from my local library book sale that I've been hearing a lot about on a podcast that I watch. And I ordered a book that continues a series that I've been reading for the past year. And then I went to a charity book sale. And this charity book sale was such where paperbacks were 50 cents, hardbacks were $2. And all of the proceeds support adult literacy programs. So, and they had some really good finds, they had some really good deals. So that's why I went to town with that. And all of these, like I only have 3 paperbacks that look damaged. So, and even that damage, one book is a little bit heavier damage because it's a used library book. And one has some cracking on the spine, but like the other damage, it just is very, very slight. So that's why I kind of went to town and have a crazy book haul. So that being said, I'm not going to go too much into the books because it is a lot of books. So I've already started recording this and I didn't even get through half of the books and it was 15 minutes long. So I'm going to try to go quicker. So the first book is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This is one of their main picks for Book of the Month, and it's a fantasy book. Sounds like it's a Middle Eastern fantasy. There are a couple of booktubers that I follow that got an arc of this, and they've already read it and really enjoyed it. So that's why I made the decision to select this as my Book of the Month pick. And then I did get an add-on of Beach Read by Emily Henry. I read this when it first came out and I loved it. I've read it actually a few times and I don't own it. So I decided to just grab it as add-on because I know I'm going to keep wanting, I'll reread this when I need something fluffy from after a stressful week at work or trying to break up some heavy epic fantasies that I've been reading. Then at my local library, I purchased 3 books, and the paperbacks were $1, the hardback was $2. So the first book I purchased is The Stand by Stephen King, and yes, for sure, there's damage. It's a used library book, but it was only $1, and I figured, it's benefiting my library. I hesitated with Stephen King, and here's why, and I kind of resisted reading him. So I've read it and I've read Carrie back in the 8th grade, my freshman year of high school. I think Stephen King is brilliant. When I read those 2 books, I'm like, this man's a genius. But I don't do horror. I don't like horror. I decided horror is not a genre for me. However, I've heard that this isn't as heavy horror. It's more post-apocalyptic, which I like those kinds of books. And I listened to What Are You Reading Next, or What Should You Read Next by Anne Bogle, or The Modern Mrs. Darcy, and I love her podcast. I've been going back and doing from episode 1 through I'm at through 130 right now. She's on episode 300 something currently. So I've been working through her early episodes, and this book keeps popping up as books that readers love. So the premise of her podcast is her guest will give 3 books they love, 1 book that they hate or just didn't connect with, and then what they're currently reading, and then she'll give that guest 3 books to read. And this consistently comes up as a book that people love. So when I saw it for $1, I snagged it. Another book that keeps coming up on those early episodes of What Should I Read Next podcast is Rules of Civility by Amor Towles. And And this keeps coming back up as like a book that people should read. I have not read anything by him because I'm super picky about my literary fiction. So like the Lincoln Highway, when it came out in Book of the Month, I did not choose that as an add-on or as a main pick of the month because I'm so super picky about those books. But so many people I've heard rave about this book on that podcast, What Should I Read Next? So when I saw it and it looks brand new, I grabbed it. And then also at my library book sale, I grabbed The House of Hades by Rick Riordan, which is the Heroes of Olympus, book 4. Yes, it doesn't have a dust jacket, but I'm slowly working through collecting the Rick Riordan books and then reading them. And then if I don't think I'll read them again, like I can always take this with me to school or gift them to a teacher at school. So that's why I grabbed it for $2, and I'm not too terribly concerned about the fact that there's no dust jacket. Because yes, I like the fact that I like getting the hardbacks if I can find them, but given that I might take them to school, it's okay that there's no dust jacket. Now the rest of the books are coming to me. Oh no, this is then the book that I picked up to continue on with my realm of the Elderling, and that is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince by Robin Hobb. And this is a prequel story about, and we get more background about the wit and why there's tension between people who use the wit and people who don't use the wit as a magic system. People have recommended read this before Tawny Man trilogy to get more background, because a lot of the events in Tawny Man, there are some things that happen and they refer back to the events that happen in this book. I read the Tawny Man trilogy. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You can still follow the Tawny Man trilogy without reading this, but I wanted more context. And I know that I'm going to keep reading. Like, I know, like, when I finish Realm of the Elderling, I know Realm of the Elderling is going to be a series that I'll reread. So, then the rest of the books are books that I found at the Books to Benefit charity sale. So, I found Tihanu by Ursula Le Guin, and this is, I mean, it's an older book. The pages are yellowed, but, I mean, there's no damage on the cover, other than the pages are a little bit yellowed. And this is the last book in the Earthsea cycle. And then I found Changes and Cold Days by Jim Butcher. These are in the Dresden Files. I've read through book 4, I've read through Summer Night, and I've been enjoying them. Full Moon was awful. I think I maybe gave it 2 stars, and that was generous. But I have been enjoying them. They have been nice, light reads between my heavy epic fantasies. I do know to hang on. Changes is where things start picking up and people's minds get blown, apparently, in the booktuber community that I've been watching. Everyone's like, oh, just wait till Changes. So when I saw these, again, they look practically brand new, and they were 50 cents. I grabbed them. Then I picked up The Poet X, and this is a young adult novel. Poet X is by Elizabeth, I'm going to mispronounce her last name, Acevedo? I apologize, I totally mispronounced her name. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But this is a novel about a young girl growing up in Harlem, and it's her journal, and it's told via poems. And I thought that was such a very interesting concept, and I don't read enough poetry, so I figured I would grab it. And like I said, if I don't like it, don't connect with it, I can always bring this to school, pass it along to another teacher or student. And then what is my first trilogy, complete trilogy that I found, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lanny Taylor, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters. And this is the book, the one of the three books that I said had some damage. There's some cracking along this spine. There's a little slight bend, but everything else, like, it looks beautiful. I've heard really good things about Lanny Taylor on book two, but I've not read anything by her. So when I saw the completed trilogy, I just grabbed it up. And then, sorry, books are falling. I have all of these stacks of books next to me that I'm trying to manage, so I apologize. All right, then I found Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and I really like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is the story of Victor and Eli, who are college roommates, and from what I understand and how it's been described to me is they do like some research project at some Ivy League school, and it's kind of like superheroes go bad. So I'm intrigued. It's the first book in a duology, and it looked really nice. I've been wanting to read it. It was 50 cents. Then I found Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and I still have to read Spinning Silver by her. But again, I don't know too much about this one. I know people like Spinning Silver more than Uprooted, but again, it looks brand new. It was 50 cents, and I still have heard good things about it, so that's why I grabbed it. I grabbed The Magicians by Lev Grossman. I started watching the series on Netflix. I haven't finished the series, but I'll be at the bookstore at like Barnes and Nobles, and I'll look at it, and I keep thinking, oh, I should pick that up. But not sure if I wanted to invest the money on it, and if I wanted to do another fantasy series. It was 50 cents, so I grabbed it. The next book is for sure another book in a series. There's a story behind this book, though, and why I grabbed it. I don't know too much about it, but I was talking with another woman at the book sale, and I was like, oh, if there's Robin Hobb, you should read Robin Hobb. We were talking about series that we've read and loved. I said, if you can find some Robin Hobb, pick her up. This is the book to start with. And then I gave her a couple of other books I found. I gave her Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And I gave her another book that I can't remember what it was. But she passed me this book, and that is Dragon Champion by E.E. Knight. I don't really know too much about this, other than a brood of dragons is born, and 4 of them have lived and are like the final hope for a dragon's survival. And 1 gray dragon kind of escapes being kidnapped into a slave trading business, and that dragon's mission is to like find out who's killing off the dragons and find a way to survive and find other dragons. Like, when I read the back of this, I was kind of like, oh, it's kind of like The Last Unicorn, except with dragons. I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's just kind of what it reminded me of. So, like I said, because I had recommended a couple of books and gave her a couple of books, when she recommended this to me, I was like, all right, let's just give it a shot. And if I don't like it, it's 50 cents. And then I found the Dark Tower book 6, which is Song of Susanna, and it looks brand new. And I haven't read any of the Dark Tower books yet. I have the first book, and then I have Wolves of Kala, and I have the last one, Dark Tower. But like I said, because I'm finding them so dirt cheap, I'm just going to grab them and maybe I'll binge them. And then I found James S. A. Corey, Tiamat's Wrath, which is book 8 in The Expanse. And there's just like a little thing there, but I mean, other than that, it looks beautiful and brand new. I'm not reading the back of the book on purpose, because I have books 1 through 3 in The Expanse, and I have not read them yet. I have not watched the TV show on purpose because I need to read the books. Okay, then my stacks. I just have stacks everywhere, so I apologize. This is going to be a little bit trickier. So this, I found a quartet of books in hardback that look brand new, and I've heard good things about it. I've heard the first book is great, and I've heard that it doesn't get to be as good. Um, that I've heard that it's kind of really tapers off. But I said to myself, okay, it benefits charity, and it's only $8 for hardbacks that look brand new. You can't, for 4 hardbacks that look brand new, you can't beat that price. And again, if I don't like it, I can bring it to school. So that would be, so I got the Mirror Visitor Quartet by Christelle Dabos. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. But the first book is A Winter's Promise. The second book is The Missing of Claire de Lune. The third book is The Memory of Babel. And the fourth book is The Storm of Echoes. And the covers are just simply gorgeous. So, let me read the cover. So this is a mix of misfit and misunderstood genius. Ophelia cares little about appearances or other people's opinions of her. She possesses 2 special gifts, an unrivaled talent for reading the pasts of objects and the ability to travel through mirrors. And I'm already excited because one of the book challenges that I'm reading, the prompt is you need to have a character who their name either is a celestial name or, celestial name. And so I was going to read a book, I think it was called Ophelia, but it was like the retelling of Hamlet from Ophelia's point of view. But I don't have that book. I'd have to check it out, and that's fine, I could check it out. But this character, her name is Ophelia. So guess what? I can substitute that book out and use this book for a reading challenge. I think it's the Owls Flourish and Blot reading challenge. So I'm already intrigued. And then I found another trilogy, and because I found this and I grabbed this trilogy in hardback, I am going to have to unhaul. I have the first book in paperback, so I'm going to unhaul that book. But I've been looking for these books. I have them, I think I have a couple on my Kindle, but I don't know how it would work on the Kindle, given that you sometimes have to move the page around to read. But I have the Illuminae files. So I have Illuminae, Gemina, and Obsidio. So books 1, 2, and 3. And I have been looking for decent copies of these books for well over a year. And I only have the first book in a decent enough paperback that I was willing to spend money on. And haven't been able to find the other books. And these are all in hardback and they look in great condition. So I grabbed them. And they will be rereads for me. But I knew after I read them that I wanted to grab them and own them. And then 2 more books. And that is it, I promise. Oh, that has a little tear. I purchased Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I finally this year, for the first time, have read anything by Leigh Bardugo. I have been resisting Six of Crows duology for so long, and I don't know why. It was so fantastic and wonderful. Now, I know that this did not get as good reviews as Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows from some people. Some people really liked it. From what I understand, this is dark academia. It's about secret societies and kind of like an Ivy League school setting. And so when I saw it, I had to grab it. And then I've been working through, I've been stalled. I've been wanting to work through the Wheel of Time series. Other things keep kind of taking over. I'm 20 pages into The Great Hunt. I have a lot of the mass paperbacks. Ideally, I would like the hardback books. Not gonna lie. But they're not cheap to come by. So I have this book already in a mass paperback. It has the old school cover, not the new covers, but for $2 I found The Dragon Reborn in hardback. So when I saw this and when I knew that it was $2, I grabbed it. Hopefully I can slowly find these. Take that back. If I continue to really like the series, I will work on trying to collect these in hardback because I know these are collectibles. But first, I want to make sure that I'm really liking the series. Phew! That is it. That is my haul. I think that's a good haul. Please let me know your thoughts on the books that I've hauled. What should I read next? I'm so so overwhelmed with all the books, but I'm also going, man, I found some good deals, and I'm super excited about what I found. I'm so excited about what I can read next. Please, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how you felt about some of these books. Keep those comments spoiler free, as obviously I have not read them. So, with the exception of the Illuminae files, I have not read any of these books. So, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.